Okay, I am Humberto Hinestrosa, the founder of Rescue International. Well, first, we need to understand what is Rescue International. Rescue International is a Dutch organization that combines intelligence analysis with search and rescue. So by combining both, we are able to assist the most complex cases of missing persons. Basically, how we do it is first breaking down the problem, providing context, collecting information to provide context to get a real overview of the situation, the best possible. Then analyzing that information in order to come with a solution, the most viable solution. Then, of course, disseminating these findings through collaboration. That's how we work. The case that we had in Colombia in 2023 is a great example of the things that we have been speaking about.
Verwarring in Colombia over 4 vermiste kinderen. Het vliegtuig waarin ze zaten stortte 2,5 week geleden neer in het Amazonewoud. En vanochtend kwam het bericht dat de kinderen levend gevonden zouden zijn.
Even later werd dat weer ontkend. Maar de zoektocht gaat verder. En een Nederlandse organisatie helpt daarbij.
What was happening is that they were searching around the area, but also in other places. They were dispersing a little bit the efforts of the search. But there were no results after so many days. So we knew in the last radar positions that the aircraft was going in one direction. Therefore, you assume that the aircraft was going in that direction. Basically, we recreated the coverage of the radar, and we were able to determine that the aircraft actually changed directions. This is our assumption check. So you normally assume that the aircraft continues its flight. Wrong assumptions leads you to error, to misjudgments. So by knowing and having a better estimation of the direction of the aircraft, that let us focus the search in a more specific place.
Colombia is een immens groot land. Na 2 dagen vol continu puzzelen geeft hij deze driehoek door. Hij zegt tegen het leger: ga vooral zoeken op deze rode lijn.
And it was just 14 meters away from that line. The data is actually defined by what is the problem, what is the question that we're trying to answer first. We use, for example, qualitative data and quantitative data. On the quantitative information side, it's all that we can measure. So it can be measurements on the ground, can be geographical models, okay, it can be satellite imagery. Can be also measurements of radio frequency, can be telephone coverage analysis, and many others that tell us a specific number, a specific edge, a specific delineation in a map. On the qualitative side, for example, we use statements of witnesses. Qualitative information can be sometimes quite confusing, and we have to deal with that. We work with both are necessary, both will always be part of the analysis. Then in one of the biggest and deepest lakes in Central America, there was a kayak accident very far from the coast. And the challenge here is that we have a lot of information, but it's qualitative information coming from different witnesses, different point of views, different perspectives. So the challenge is how we put all this together to determine something that is quantitative, to determine a position. On top of that, the testimonies of witnesses and all the information available was highly contradictory, was difficult. We can narrow and, of course, have a better estimation. But how do you do that when all the information is contradictory? The main issue here was the perspective, the point of view. We were able to notice that actually all the testimonies and arguments surrounding the case, they made sense. When we reached that point and we combined that with the wind data and even sound estimations, then we were able to really narrow the area from a very big lake to reduce that to 200 meters radius. In this case, because of the depth, it's around the 200 meters, you need a remote-operated underwater vehicle with certain equipment that allows to geolocate the ROV. Good collection, good data will give you good analysis, and that will give you good findings. There are no magic solutions. You need to go through all this process in order to get into a good solution. Everything relies on good analysis. It doesn't have to be too complex, it just has to be good. Collaboration is a must. It's impossible to do it alone. So actually, recipe for failure is to try to do it alone. So when I'm successful, someone else is going to be successful, and the mission will be successful because this is a common effort. We cannot expect collaboration to happen out of nowhere, out of nothing. We must take the initiative. So we cannot just wait until someone reaches to us to collaborate, to work together, to do something, to get some information. That's not going to happen. Well, in Guatemala, we had also an aircraft that goes missing. It was in a volcano and it was jungle, it was tropical jungle. They flew in the right area, but still it was difficult. We not only see for the aircraft, we also look for indications that can tell us, hey, there is an aircraft under the canopy. Now imagine trying to see an aircraft while you're flying. So all this is moving. So imagine how difficult it can be. So we came with this, basically where they should search along the projected path of the aircraft, and no more than 200 meters. And in fact, the aircraft was just right there. So you see that information doesn't have to be complicated. And it doesn't have to be loads of information. When we really zoom in, we can actually spot the aircraft right in the mirror. And actually you can see not only the aircraft, but you can see where he penetrates the tree canopy. So they were found within an hour, no more than an hour after the information was sent to them. And then later, the same day, the operation was finished. This is a call for everyone, for the industry, that we need to take the initiative, not only to collaborate, but also to be aware of your own biases and to remind yourself that you need to take time to think more clearly, to think structured, then you can come with more efficient solutions. In sum, at Rescue International, we have learned that the difference between confusion and clarity is rarely technology or more data. It's about the mindset, it's about the right perspective. In maintenance, you're not alone, actually, because this also applies to you.